Hello, my name is Brian Halterman, and I am the pastor at Micah Mission here in Lompoc, and I thank you for joining us to today's video log. Today, we're going to just answer the simple question and start a short series on talking about what would be the words Jesus would say if he sat down by you. What would he say if he sat across from you today? Not when everything is going well, not when you finally feel like you've got it all together, but right in the middle of your real life. What if he looked you in the eyes and spoke directly to you? What do you think it is that he would say? Because really the truth of the matter is many of us already have a voice that's speaking to us in our head. Many from our earlier life and situations we face, voices that would say things like, you should be further along in life, or you sure messed that up again, or maybe something like, nothing's really changed, so why do you keep trying? And over time, the problem is we start to believe that that is the truth. But what if that voice isn't the truth? What if that voice, it's not Jesus that you've been listening to? We're starting this series called These Are the Words He Would Say, what Jesus is saying right now to you. Because a lot of us, I think, don't actually recognize his voice anymore in the middle of our real life situations. And if I had to sum up what he would say right now to so many people, it would simply be, don't give up. I'm still with you. Jesus spoke something very honest in John 16:33 when he said, I have told you these things so that in you you may have peace. In this world you will have trouble, but take heart. I have overcome the world. In this world you will have trouble. Jesus doesn't sugarcoat life. He doesn't pretend that it's easy. And that matters because a lot of us were taught differently. A lot of us grew to believe that if you trust God, everything should work out. That if you follow Jesus, life will get easier. That if things are hard, maybe something must be wrong or there might be hidden sins. But Jesus never said that. He said life would be hard. But then he said something even more important. He said, take heart, for I have overcome the world. This means your struggle is not a sign that God is absent or that you've screwed up. It might actually be the place where God is closest to you. Because the truth is just, Jesus is not ignoring what you're going through. He's not asking you to pretend. He's not wanting you to wait and clean it all up. He's meeting you right in the middle of it. And that's where Jesus makes the difference. Because Jesus gets it. Hebrews 4:15 tells us that Jesus understands our weaknesses because he's been there. Jesus knows what it's like to feel rejected, to be misunderstood, to carry pressure. So when he speaks to you, he's not speaking from a distance, he's speaking from experience. You know, Isaiah 51:10 comes up with a great promise that says this, so do not fear, for I am with you. It doesn't say, now I'll fix everything immediately or I'll remove every problem. It says, I'll be with you. I'll be with you in the middle of it. And why that may not always feel like it's enough, can I tell you, the longer I've lived, the more I've realized something important. And that is that sometimes it's not necessarily a way out that I need. It's that I need someone to be with me in the midst of the journey. Because we can be surrounded by people and still feel completely alone. Can smile and say we're okay, but inside we're tired. And the truth is, a lot of us have gotten really good at hiding what we're feeling inside. Yet the Bible tells us in Psalms 34:18 that God is close to the brokenhearted. Not to the perfect, not to the put together, but to the broken. And here's what I want you to hear about this. Jesus sees all of it. He sees the tired part of you, the hurting part of you, the part that feels like giving up. And he stays. He stays, not when you fix it, not when you figure out, but he stays right now. And he says, I'm still with you. Yet the challenge along the road is so often we quit. But can I tell you, don't quit in the middle. You know, people don't quit at the beginning because they're just starting. But they quit when it gets tiring. They quit when it feels too long. They quit when it feels like nothing is changing. Yet, in Galatians 6:9, we read this: let us not grow weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. Now, maybe that is where you are right now. You're still showing up, but you're worn out. So let me ask you this. What if this moment in time is not the end of the story? What if it's just the middle? What if it's still a chapter that God is writing? So I'll tell you, don't quit in the middle of a chapter God is writing of your life. The Bible says the God who started in something in you is going to finish it. Philippians 1:6, he who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Jesus. So what feels unfinished in your life right now is not abandoned. It's just not finished yet. So let me say this as clearly as you can. Some of you are tired of trying, tired of starting over, tired of wondering if anything's changing, and maybe you've thought about giving up or quitting. But if Jesus was sitting with you right now, he wouldn't say, hey, try harder. And he wouldn't say, hey, fix yourself or come back when you're better. He would just simply say, don't give up. I'm still with you. And maybe right now, that's the only thing you need to hold on to. So wherever you are, just make the decision. I'm not giving up. Not because everything is fixed, but because you're not alone. Life may not change overnight, but something shifts when you realize that you're not facing it alone. So this week, when the other voice shows up, the one that says you're behind, you failed, or nothing's changing, remind yourself, this isn't the voice of Jesus. And come back to the truth where he says, hey, don't give up. I'm still with you. Now, if this encouraged you, I want you to share it with someone who needs it, because you're not the only one fighting through something right now. Next week, we're going to continue to build on this, because if Jesus was sitting across from you, sitting there with you, he wouldn't just say, don't give up. He would also say, I see more in you than you see in yourself. You're not finished. You were made for so much more. So if you've ever felt stuck, if you ever felt like this is all there is, I don't want you to miss next week, because what Jesus sees in you might be completely different than what you've been believing about yourself. Have a great week, and see you next week.